Hi Heath Live. Today we've got our second episode of our Gym Chat podcast, and we've got local lad Darren Scott, who's a multiple world record holder in sprinting. And for those who don't know who I am, I'm Mark McGrath, the gym manager at the Heath Leisure Suite on the Heath Business Park. So, as most of you know, if you come to the gym, you already know Darren as a PT. And I think Darren, you've got a couple of different worlds, haven't you, where you do different things, and we all know you as Darren Scott, the PT, the fitness instructor at the gym. Like a bit of a laugh, but only until recently I've gone into your other world where you are Darren Scott, the Masters athlete. And I think locally you don't really get the recognition sometimes that you probably deserve, and a lot of people don't really know they know you're an athlete, but they don't know the inside and who you are and what you do. So today's gym chat is basically all about you, Darren.
Come on, Daz! Fucking got him already. Come on, Daz!
Come on, Darren!
Correction, where did you find 52?
22.52!
Go round it down.
And the European record holder as well.
Yeah, man.
What is Masters Athletics and how did you get into it?
Masters Athletics is for men and women over the age of 35. And we have age categories. So basically, when you turn 35, you can compete from 35 to 39, and then you change a new category and go from 40 to 44. And that continues throughout longevity. So you could be 100 years old and still compete.
Yeah.
And it's open to all abilities. And there's many, it's a track and field, but it's not just track and field. There's road running, there's cross country. So it's a multitude of
So is it every
disciplines.
sport that you'd normally find in a normal athletic meeting?
Yes.
Or is it open to everyone?
Yes, and it's open to everyone. You don't have to have any grades, don't have to have any specific times. And we've got a federation called the British Masters Athletics Federation, which they have got a web page that you can go and have a look at.
I think it's great because when you get to 30, like most sports stars would retire or you drop down a level, but there's something out there for you to carry on and try and achieve something else, isn't there, really?
Yeah, because we all think life sort of, sport definitely, you think, but that's it when you get to 30, 35.
So how did you kind of get into it?
Funny enough, I was going to retire in 2002. I was 33 by then. And it was only that we have an Athletics Weekly that comes out. We have a weekly magazine that comes out. And on the front cover was Steve Peters. Now, he was a Masters athlete and a sprinter. And I read about Steve Peters. And he was a world champion. He held world records as a sprinter. And he was like in his mid-40s by then. And I thought, wow, what a great achievement this guy's at. And I thought, 35, I might have a little go at this. So this is why. So Steve Peters was the guy who sprinter like me, and I thought, right, let's go and have a.
So that was your motivation to.
That was my motivation. I thought, wow, look at this
that
guy.
Professor Steve Peters.
Yeah, it is. Yes.
Yeah. So that's your inspiration to carry on then.
Yeah.
So where did it all start? Was you into sprinting from a young age, or didn't you start a little bit later than most people would do? Wouldn't you?
Yeah, I started quite late being as a sprinter. I used to be always quite good at school, athletics in school. And it wasn't until, I don't know why, but in 1990 I decided that I wanted to do a bit of athletics and I wanted to train. Because I come from football, I used to say in football, you're quite quick, why don't you start doing some running or sprinting? And I thought, do you know what, I've always loved to do something like that. So I had a hunt around and I found a little club called Frodsham Harriers. So I approached them and said, is it possible I could come and train with you? And they said, yeah, that's brilliant, come and train.
So that's quite late on, really, isn't it, to start a sport?
Yes.
Did you always find that you had natural talent, as in you were always fast?
Yeah, as I said, in school I was always quick. I did win the 100 metres and the 200 metres in school, so I always know I had the ability.
Do you think if you started at an earlier age, say like 6 or 7 and, specifically trained for sprinting, do you think you had the potential to go further, as in maybe reach the Olympics or, to be an elite level sprinter?
Do you know what, Matt? That's a very, very hard question to ask. Only because what's done's done. You can't turn back the time. And I don't know. If let's say if I had the talent and I would have got to Olympic standard or world standard, let's say I would have done. But I might not be where I am today in the Masters, because I might have just thought I'll give up and not pursue any further. So for me, it's a double-ended sword, really. Yes, I think that the height of any athlete would be the Olympic Games. I was fortunate enough to train with an Olympian, and I think that's the pinnacle of your career, isn't it? So would I do Masters athletics if I'd been an Olympian? I don't know. So yeah, it's an open-ended question, that, for me. There's always
it's a tough one. You never know.
You never know.
You don't know.
Yeah, at the end of
I love where I am today. So for me, it's something that.
And I suppose you might not have achieved the things you have done the last few years if things were different for you in the earlier years.
Yeah, well, that's correct, isn't it? Because if I'd gone to the Olympics or World Championship as a senior athlete, and maybe not where I am today, and I do love, because at the end of the day, it's my health and my well-being now. And I set a great example as a personal trainer to my clients, don't I? Because they see me still performing in my 50s. I'm working hard. They see it as it's great to see, isn't it? I set an example to other people.
Yeah, definitely. And I think also in the gym, when for me and members, when you come back with a gold medal, and we all have a joke and laugh over it. But to have someone locally, achieving them kind of awards and then coming back and working in the gym, I think other members thrive off that as well. So it's nice to have someone like yourself working in the gym and seeing members looking up to you. Now, talking about the gym, and in our first podcast last week, I was surprised to find out you didn't actually go to a gym until you were 25, which again is quite late on, isn't it? Did the gym, when you started going to the gym, did it make did it really impact your performance? Did it help you improve?
Definitely, a massive improvement. And I'll go through why. 1991, I had my first ever race for Roger Marriott. I competed at the Bevington in the Wirral. And I raced this guy, and I come second. Yeah, second, Mark. I did come second in this race.
But you didn't like that,
I didn't like it. I didn't have any blocks, but I was pretty naive, didn't know really too much. But anyway, the guy that won, Tony Lee, he was actually the county champion. He was only later on that I found out. And he beat me by a few metres, and I thought to myself, well, if this guy just beat me by a few metres, surely I could improve and, one day beat Tony Lee.
Yeah.
It took me a long time to beat Tony, because Tony beat me for about 3 or 4 years after that. But I had the goal to say, could I get a bit closer to him? Could I beat this guy? So I was with Roger Marriott, and then later on in 1994, 93, 94, I met a guy called Alan Condon. Now, Alan Condon was fantastic athletics. He won the English schools, very talented athlete, and he was coached by his father, Maurice Condon. And I was just lucky enough that I met them at Warrington one day. Maurice looked at me and said, "You've got the potential to be a better runner if just needs a few things to adjust and look at your running style and stuff." And from that day forward, Mark, I never looked back, because Maurice was a brilliant coach. Alan Condon was a fantastic training partner. And Alan Condon introduced me to the gym, and then that's when it all changed. I was going from being like an 11.3, 11.6 runner to then getting into going sub 11, and then slowly getting to be winning the county championship yourself, competing for the north of England, and then I got to an international status because I put the whole package together, not just training on the track, but the gym. So the gym gave me massive improvements. And funny enough, Mark, I have got a clip of a little bit of my training.
We can have a little look.
Yeah, we'll have a little look at the clip of the training in the gym, what I sort of do.
Right, let's check it out now. So looking at that, Darren, it's not your standard, what I would perceive as being a standard training session. You know, if for me, I don't really know much about athletics.
No.
You know, a lot of people would think, you know, you need to build your leg strength up, so it's squats, lunges, leg press, hack squat. But a lot of the stuff you're doing there is kind of plyometric exercises.
Yeah, a lot
Can
of
you tell us a little bit about your training? You know, what do you do specifically to help you improve your speed and power?
As a sprinter, you need explosive power. So that's where the jumps come in. It's like when you run 100 metres, the idea is to have as least contact as you can on a track. You know, the more contact, like if you have a full foot on, it slows you down. If you're right up onto your toes, at least contact, yeah? Minimal contact. So if you watch me when I'm jumping, I'm always trying to
That
get up
spring.
on, yeah, the spring. It's what we call elastic strength. I'm not blessed with, you know, I'm not a big athlete power, but what I have got is good elastic strength. So I worked on my strength, which was plyometrics. So I lift, let's say I lift a heavy bench press, then I go explosive ball. I'd have a medicine ball and throw it up so it explodes, so it's getting elastic strength, and that converts. So strength converts into speed.
I think it was about 6 months ago. You had your gym bag with you, and you got this diary out, and it looked old, and it was probably as old as I am. And I think it was your training diary, and the diary started from 1991 when you first started.
Yeah, 91. Yeah.
And that amazed me. Now, I do a bit of PT myself, and I always say to people, keep a log of your training and whatnot. But to have a record of all your training sessions from 1991, 30 years.
30 years? Wow.
That's a long
years.
time.
Yeah, it is.
What is it all about the details for you?
I think that the start of the diary came because when I started running, I am particular. I like to find out what I've been doing. And I never had a coach, and I was pretty new to everything. So I think for me, my way of tracking everything was, if I had a diary, I could track things, track races, and it all began then. And obviously when I met Morris and Alan in 93, 94, it was like, then I had more specific training. So every session I wrote down. And so from there, it was like, I used to write the temperature down, it was cold, wind, you name it, I wrote it down.
Yeah.
But it was a godsend because you could find out if they'd got an injury problem, what was I doing beforehand? Do you know?
Right,
yeah, so it wasn't just a case of logging, you know, if I ran well.
So what do you need to change, or what's not working?
Yeah, exactly. So that diary was full of information. Do you know, why did I run good that day? What type of training did I do? So that's why I thought it was very important, and obviously it's come out in, it's worked fabulous for me now. They call me the statistician nowadays on the track, because every track around the country, I know which way the wind's blowing.
Really?
Yeah, I know where, because us sprinters love the wind to be fault, and we don't like big negative swings. So things like that. And also temperature makes a massive difference to sprinters. That's why I run in the summer, but anything over 20 degrees I seem to run better, and 25 degrees, because that's what my diary says. I run better when it's warm.
Yeah.
Hotter the better.
Yeah, I'm with you on that one as well. Now, when I introduced you, I said multiple world record holder.
Yeah.
How many world records have you got?
7, Mark. 7 world records.
Wow.
It's always great to have world records.
Yes. It must be nice to say to people I'm a world record holder, because obviously not many people can.
Yeah, and do you know what? That's where it becomes, how can I put it? I amaze myself sometimes, because you just strive out as to do things, do your best in life. And then I can't believe it myself, because obviously you train hard, and I think, oh, I could do this, and you train so hard, so dedicated, but then when you pull it off,
it's a proud moment.
Yeah, it's a very, very proud moment.
What was it like winning your first world record?
Now, I've got different world records. Relays were always my first world records, and then an individual world record. So the first world record I ever done was in a relay. And funny enough, when I mentioned Tony Lee before, he was actually part of that first world record.
The guy from the start?
Yeah, from the very, very start.
That's nice though, isn't it?
Yeah, the first ever guy I ever raced, Tony Lee, he was actually a part of our world record we set, 4v1 in 2008, something like that. And we did a 4x1 relay, and we won it obviously, but we broke the world record. It was fantastic that a guy I started with all them years ago, we were part of the world record. So that was my first world record. It was brilliant, just thinking, actually done a world record.
Proud,
then
proud.
yeah, so it was a very, very proud moment. It was fantastic for Tony as well. But my first individual world record was probably very special to me because it was done in the north of England. I planned for it. I planned it for 2 years, and that's the difference. I plan, I'm thinking, this is what I want to do. So I planned it for 2 years, training was for 2 years. Morris and I had a discussion. We altered my training to suit what I needed to do because I was getting a little bit older. And it worked a treat. North of England Championships.
Was that in 100 or 200?
200 metres indoors. It's fabulous.
What time did you do?
21.8 seconds.
See, that's what amazes me. You planned 2 years to run one race for 21 seconds.
Yes. Because what happens is when your training goes well, you usually find out that you're going to... I have time trials. Every so now I have a little time trial throughout my training program. I have like 6 weeks, it'll be a time trial. And I knew off that, I knew I was running so well, and I thought,
you knew you're ready.
This is going to happen. And I was in my 40s. I was competing against a younger age group. It was the North of England Championships, and it was over in Sheffield indoors. And when I got to the final, I think the youngsters were a little bit, I can't believe this 40-year-old's got to the final. Yeah, what's he in the final? And I remember thinking to myself, this is it, this is the moment. And I remember I had Richard Kilty, who won the world indoors at senior level. Fantastic athlete. He was a lot younger, but he was doing a 200 that day. And I remember Richard was on the inside of me, and Morris, my coach, said, do not go and chase him, because he's a lot faster than me. And I thought, I'll hold my form, and that's part of sprinting, holding your form. And I didn't go out and chase Richard. I thought, I'll run my race. And it worked a treat. And Richard was one of the first to congratulate me, because obviously he won the race, but world record. And it was fabulous.
Yeah,
fabulous.
Yeah, amazing feeling.
Yeah.
So, I also know that you raced at the Commonwealth Games. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Oh, there's some great memories, man. 2002 Commonwealth Games in Manchester. Funny enough, that was a strange time because I wanted to qualify for the Commonwealth Games for Scotland, because that was my international. I got an international for Scotland and I got injured. And I remember I had to have a qualifying time and I missed it by 0.02 a second, which is the thickness of a vest. I missed it by. Anyway, so luckily enough, what happened was, we had the first year of having disability athletes with partially blind and blind competitors run at the Commonwealth Games this particular year. So I had to go to Manchester and I had to race him on the track. And it was basically, if I beat him in a race, I could actually be his guide runner. I was like, wow. And anyway, I raced him, I beat him luckily enough, and then he said, right, we want to be a guide runner. So I had a little bit of training with him. And then we went to the Commonwealth Games, and what a brilliant, brilliant experience. And I've got a video of that, man, which you can go and see right now.
Let's have a look.
Nigerian sprinter Adekunle Adesoje is blind in his right eye and had partial sight in his left eye, but stormed home in the 100 metres for elite athletes with disabilities and was ably assisted by Runcorn's Darren Scott. One of the enduring images of Manchester's Commonwealth Games will be Adekunle Adesoje racing to 100 metres glory, and in the process twice breaking a world record that stood for 16 years. But the Nigerian's well aware he couldn't have done it without his guide runner, Trafford sprinter Darren Scott.
I've got to ask, was it hard not to run past him? Knowing that you'd already beat him.
Oh, do you know the funny thing is, you like that because through the rounds, we obviously don't see the rounds, you see the final. We did 2 world records. But the funny thing, a lot of people don't know this, but I actually did 3 other athletes. So I remember the heats, and I did one run, and I come jogging back up the track, did another race, jogged back up the track, and I had to come in, and I thought it was the last heat of the 100 metres, and I was shattered. And I went up to him and I said, listen, what's your plans on this? And he went, oh no, I'm going to take it a little bit easier. And I thought, yeah, happy days. My God, Mark, he left me for dead out of the blocks.
Yeah,
he just went, boom, I'm gone. And I looked an idiot, and I was like, across the line, I thought, I can't believe he just done to me. And he ran the world record in his heats.
Go on.
And I was like, I couldn't believe it. He ran like 10.8 in the heats. And I was like, and everyone was going, I remember the commentators saying, his guide runner got left there. And I was like, yeah, because I was already tired, but I thought we discussed we were going. Anyway, he did the world record. I was fine. The semi-final, I thought, well, I'm going to get out before you. And Alan Condon was saying to me, you want to get him out, get out them blocks quicker than him. So in the semi-final I did, I had to slow down, he'd come past me.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's quite hard because you do want to go past the athlete, but to be fair, Advocaat Lee Eversotty, that final was absolutely true. 30,000 people there, he breaks the world record, I'm a part of it, so really, that's a part of the world record.
Yeah, you can say that. But what an experience for
Oh,
you.
no, it's fantastic, yeah.
So, in your own career, what's been a highlight for you? What's the best moment of your career?
I think getting my first international call up for Scotland in 1998, getting a letter as we did in them days.
Right.
I got a letter through the post by John Anderson, the referee of Gladiators at the time. I got a letter from them saying we'd like to represent Scotland.
Why did you run for Scotland?
Well, it's my mother's Scottish.
Oh,
My
right,
mum was
okay.
born in Kilmarnock. Yes, I didn't go
Right.
on holiday to Scotland. Yes, my mother was Scottish. It's funny enough, my mum was Scottish and my dad was Welsh.
Really?
So I had the choice, but I remember indoors I actually had a choice to run for England because I ran so well, and they chose me to run in Vienna, and I actually said no, I'm not gonna run.
Right.
Reason being, I had a better chance for Scotland than I did for England at the time, so I
Right.
chose that was the reason why. But I got my first international, and I won my first international beating England.
Really?
Yes. So there you go.
So as a Scotsman, that was
As a
nice.
Scotsman, it was nice to beat the Englishmen and the Welshmen at the time, and the Americans.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Happy days. So, what's your track training like from now and when you was 25?
Well, the sessions from when I met Alan was totally different to my Roger Maria's day, because in the winter we used to go and get fit. So I used to do like 5k runs, and I did that all the way from my younger days up until I was 42. I would do like 5k runs to get myself conditioned. Not really helped me on the track, but it helped me with my recovery. So with things like we'd do 6 300s on the track with 3 minutes rest, but they all had to be done at a certain pace. So it was like the coach would work out and say, right, Darren, you need to run 42 seconds for these 300s. Alan, you've got to run 40 seconds. Spencer, who's another training group, would say, yeah, you've got to run 44. Chris Smith, you've got to run 41, 42. And that's what made it difficult, is the speed element. I mean, to be honest with you, not many of us completed the 6 300s. It was basically, I used to get 3 or 4 and we'd done it, the lactic in your legs, feel sick, can't get up off the floor. And we used to have a bet who would be sick first on the track between us all. We used to go to the track and go, who's going to be sick first? So, but it was so competitive.
Yeah.
So we did 6 300s, we'd do 5 2, 4 3, we did 6 200s. But it's changed as I've got older, and I've got a little video of me training more as a masters athlete with my training partner, Abby Fitzpatrick.
Let's have a look.
As the video see there, it's not just about going to track. You can see there I was doing some tyre pulls. That's to help you drive phase on 100 metres. Running up hills, running up steps, doing hops. Then the track work, you can still see that I put in the work when I can't get up off the floor. Doing all hard work in the younger days, a session that Morris come up with said, we'll change one of your sessions to a women's session. And I was like, a women's session? What does that mean? He said, we're going to do 3 150s. He said, so it's 150, 8 minutes, 150, 2 minutes, 150. But I want you to run at 95%, 95%, and whatever you can do in the last one. And I was like, yeah, okay, no problem, I'll do that. My God, Mark, it was the hardest session I've ever done in my life. I was like, I can't literally get off the floor for 20 minutes.
Oh, wow.
But it was a brilliant way of training. That's one of the success stories to being helping me break the world record for a 200 metres. That was a perfect session for me.
Yeah. Now I know you do work hard, and I think on one of the clips there we see you lying on the floor
Many times.
And how do you keep the motivation? What keeps you motivated to push yourself to that level? Because I've been in here in winter and it's been -2, it's been snowing, it's freezing cold. The last thing anyone wants to do is exercise outside, and I've seen you get kitted up, and you've even told me, I don't want to do this, but I'm going out and doing it. What's that inner motivation to keep you going?
Because athletics to me, it's just you, isn't it? It's just me. I've got no excuses. When I'm on that track, there's no excuses. There's what you put into it is what you get out of it, isn't it? It's only me. I'm not in a team sport, so I know when I go out that door and train that it's building me. It's building me in a thought. When I'm on that track, I know I put everything into my training. So, and has my competitors done what I've done?
Yeah,
Have they done the same? Get out there. Have they put that effort in? Yeah, they might have done, but I'm making sure I've got no stone unturned.
How much of it do you think is just natural talent and hard work?
First of all, you need talent. You need talent, whatever sport, whatever thing you do. You need talent to succeed. To get to the top, you need it. And a lot of it's mind. I think you've got to have a very, very good mental attitude towards anything in life. And as I've said, it's one of them that I have a desire. I want to do my best. At the end of the day, it's all about the best I can do. I don't care about anyone else.
Yeah.
It's about me and the best. And if that produces a world record, if it produces me winning the world championships, then brilliant.
I think, going back to the Masters Athletics and having that 5-year category, that must also help the motivation, because every 5 years there's a new chance to break another world record, which I think is great. And does that help you, keep motivated?
Definitely. I think that's the beauty of Masters Athletics as well, that you can...
There's always something else to go for.
Yeah, it is. I think that the problem is a little bit of a grey area, I think, because everyone thinks when you're let's say you turn 40, you're at the bottom end of your age group, and obviously it goes to 44. When you get to 42, 43, you're already looking forward to being 45. That's the great thing. But I made a massive mistake, because when I got to 42 and I competed in America in Sacramento, I achieved everything I wanted to achieve, and I looked at it and I thought, do you know what, am I going to get any faster now at 43 and 44? And I thought, no, and do you know what, I had 2 years out. And it's the worst thing I ever did. I wish I'd never done it, because as a sprinter, you lose your fast twitch fibres, you lose speed.
2 years is a long time for anyone in any sport at the elite level.
Yeah, and that was one of my downfalls, because I just naturally thought, I ran 10.8 and 21.8 on my last year, 42 years old. I had 2 years out and I thought, oh yeah, I'll be fine, I'll come back. Do you know, Mark, it was so hard. I remember coming back and I couldn't go under 23 seconds. It was just a long way away. But I had another drive, and it was like, when I was 45, as you say, I thought, oh, could I break another world record? I remember my first attempt was in Budapest. I was nowhere near it. Yeah. I just fell off the perch, and it was like, I had to go and train hard.
Is that 2 year out still affecting you now? So do you think now, if you carried on there for them 2 years, you might be a little bit faster now?
I think it hindered me, yes. Yeah. Definitely hindered me. And any advice to any Masters athlete out there, do not have time out.
We know you do the 100 and the 200. Which one's your favourite?
200 metres.
200 metres.
I am a 200 metre specialist. I call myself a 200 metre specialist.
Why?
I am not blessed with the best power output from coming from the blocks. There's different phases. So for 100 metres, you've got to be very explosive. Coming out of the blocks, you've got to have a great drive phase. You've got to have a very, very top end speed's got to be good. And it's a different training altogether from a 200 runner.
Why do you think that is though? Do you think that's genetic? Because when I look at you, I wouldn't think you were a 100 metre sprinter. Maybe middle distance.
Yeah, middle distance. In fact, most people thought I was
Yeah.
a middle distance runner. I have got fast twitch fibres. I've got what we call very good elastic strength. That's when we talk about plyometric and jumps.
Yeah.
You know, you have what we call stride frequency, you have stride length, and it's all that combination. In a 200 metres, I don't necessarily need to be as good over the first dry phase because I've got a longer to catch
right.
up. And it's all to do with how to run a 200 metres. In 100 metres, you can run pretty much flat out. Let's say you have a dry phase that can go to 45 metres, then a top sprinter can only hold top speed between 1 and 2 seconds. Then you start decelerating. Yeah, that's a 100 metre runner. Everyone does it. Usain Bolt did it. You all decelerate. It looks like someone's finishing strong at the end. It's not. The other athlete's just getting tired. But in 200 metres, it's more specialised. Because when you come out of your blocks, your dry phase can't be as far as in 100 metres. Because if you run 45 metres flat out, you ain't going to do a good 200. So you've got to back off. So you've got to have very good speed awareness and judgment that you don't run 100%.
So is it more tactical? Even though it's only 20 seconds, it's still tactical?
Yeah, but you can't last that long. As I say, if you're decelerating in 100 metres, what you're going to happen in a 200, you're going to decelerate even more. So it's holding your top speed now.
Yeah.
So it's being able to hold it a lot longer. So the idea is not run at 100%, it's run like 97, 98%. So you need more speed endurance.
And your training is different for what you're going for at the time?
My training is different. My training is more speed endurance based. Oh, I'll have a go at decathlon. And I broke the world record for the 200 metres indoor that I'd set out to do. I broke down and thought, what else could I have a go? What else could I have a go at? And I thought, do you know what? Instead of giving up like I did last time for 2 years, let's have a go at decathlon, let's see what happens. And the only event, there's a couple of events I've never done, but pole vault was one I've never done in my life, and I thought, I haven't got a clue. There was a decathlon going on in Birmingham, and I remember the closing date being on a Sunday. And on a Saturday, I got in touch with a guy, and I said, can I come and do some pole vault practice at Manchester indoors?
The day before the event?
The day before the closing event. No, the day before the closing event. So I met up with this guy called Ian Scholes, and I met him up there, and he goes, right, Darren, what size pole do you want? And I went, what? I said, I don't know. He went, right, okay. What weight? Do you know what weight you're at? And I went, I don't know. He said, how much do you weigh? So I said, I'm probably between 150, 155 pounds, something like that, because they're all in pounds. So he just grabbed this pole out and said, right, we're going to use this pole. And we remember doing drills into a sandpit, and I was like, Ian, I don't really want to do drills into a sandpit. I said, put me on the bed thing. He went, but nobody does that on the first day, Dan. And I'm going, well, I know that, but the closing date for the decathlon's tomorrow. And he just looked at me and said, you're going to do a decathlon? I said, yeah. He went, so I need to get over height. I said, don't care. I said, just get me over 2 metres, that'll do me. And we put the little rubber band on, because they don't have the pole length for safety. And I got over the 2 metres.
On the joint line, like that.
Get in there! I did it! I was looking at Abby's toe. I missed it.
You'd have to do it again now.
It's recorded.
Oh, is it?
Stick his out back down, that'll do.
Did I do it? Did I do it? Do it again, do it again. I missed it.
Roy did it. That'll do for today. That's loads today, trust me.
And they entered the decathlon.
2 metres in pole vault is not very high, really.
No,
is
it's
it?
not. It's not really high. When you think that people high jump higher than that. But to be fair, Mark, you've got to get rid of the pole, because the pole knocks the stanchions down.
Yeah.
So you've got to be able to turn around in the air or somehow push the pole back.
Just launch yourself
Yeah,
over
basically,
and hope for the
I've
best.
got no technique on pole vault. Basically, I was just throwing myself over. But the thing is, once I'd done that, I thought, I'll do a decathlon. And I remember going down to Birmingham, and I was there, and everyone said, hi, Darren, looking forward to doing your 100 metres, 200 metres. And I went, doing a decathlon today? And they were like, no. I was like, I am. And they just couldn't believe it. And I remember getting the Mickey ripped out of me. But people stayed and said, oh, we've got to watch Darren do a decathlon.
Yeah.
I did the decathlon, Mark, but ask yourself, who won the decathlon? I won it, and I won it. Three years on the row, 46, 47, 48, 49. Oh yeah, I won it 4 years on the row. To the age of 49, and I went to World Championships in Malaga, and I come fourth in the world.
Wow.
So I never was going to win it. My target was, I always set myself goals. I thought, if I can finish in the top 6 in the world at the age of 49, I'd be one happy man, and I'd finish fourth in the world. So for me, the goal I set worked. Terrific.
Yeah, that's fantastic. You just mentioned a world record at 45. What was all that about?
Yeah, well, 46 it was. I was 46 then. Might be 45. My first attempt at Budapest didn't work, but 46, I went to Tyrrell and I ran at Tyrrell, and again I was specifically training to try and break the world record. And I broke the world record. I got some great TV coverage from that out there. So I'll show you a little bit of TV coverage I got from this world record, which was brilliant.
In the world of sprinting, Usain Bolt is the man they all fear. But in veteran sprinting, it's this man who turns legs to jelly at the starting blocks.
The records are set by fantastic athletes in the prime, so that's what gives me the motivation. Can I be as good as them at the age?
Darren, who works as a fitness instructor, trains and competes for St Helens Sutton Athletics Club. And now in his 40s, can still show the younger athletes a thing or two.
He's been a good inspiration, someone to train with. You know, he's done it all before. He's broke quite a few records.
This is the one I've just won in Poland to run, and I think that's always going to have a little piece of my heart, because broke the world record at major championships is always a fantastic achievement. Yeah,
isn't that brilliant? Superb.
Darren almost called it a day a couple of years ago. You wouldn't bet against him rewriting those record books once again. Richard Askham, BBC North West Tonight.
Oh, remarkable athlete.
Yeah, I remember that, Darren. That was a great day in the gym, wasn't it? A few
Yeah.
years back now, but it was nice to see you on the news and raise the profile of the gym a little bit, having you on the news and showing off what you're doing in the gym.
Yeah.
All the hard work behind the scenes is for that day when you go out and do your run.
Yeah.
So we've got a little clip of your medals. 'Cause
Yes.
I know you've got a lot of medals. haven't you?
Oh, I know, but it's just nice to celebrate that. I think all medals, now we used to shove them in a drawer. It's nice to get them out and celebrate, because every single medal, it's the hard work that goes behind the mark. And I think that's why I think more people should embrace when they do well.
Which is your favourite medal? You got one in particular?
I have got a few favourite medals, Mark. I think one from Clement Ferrand in France was one of my fantastic achievements that really brought me on to breaking the world record, because I ran 21.6 when I was 39, and then when I turned 40 I broke the world record, which was 21.9. I got to 21.7, so that gave me belief. And obviously you've got to say the medal for breaking the world record into run, that's a fantastic medal. And also going to America and beating the Americans 200 metres in there was a fantastic achievement.
Yeah. It's when you talk about the places that you've won these medals and you've visited, I think it's really good how you go into places you wouldn't normally go, and we all go on holiday to Spain and Cyprus, but you're getting also to travel the world, aren't you, when you're joining the Masters Athletics and you're competing in different places.
Yes, I think that's one fantastic about Masters. It's not just, I say, it can be abilities for anything. If you want to stay in the UK, then fine, but if you become where you get better and better, and you don't need no qualifying match. You can go to the Worlds and Europeans and take your family with you. It's a fantastic experience. Well, I have to tell you this story about Hungary, but only because 2010 we were at Hungary. And I met a fellow Masters athlete called Pat Logan. We went to this to do a study. And I remember coming in this room, they had all these things going on. And my first exercise was leg extensions. So they had me on this leg extension machine, wired up, and they said, right, Darren, what we want you to do is do a leg extension. As hard as you can, because we're going to measure your strength and we're going to have a look at the way your knees moves and all this. And I said, yeah, okay. Did the extension. And the girl looked at me and went, is that it? And I thought, what do you mean, is that it? She said, it wasn't very good. I said, well, I'll have another go then. So I sat there and I had another go, you know, putting a little bit, as much effort as
prove her wrong.
Yeah, prove her wrong. Anyway, I did it again. She just looked at me and said, it's still not very good. Do you want to have one last go? And I was really like, you know what I mean? I was so competitive. I was thinking, I can't believe she's just done that. So I really tried everything into it, like, oh! And she just looked at me and said, it's not one of your strongest, this, is it? And I thought, wow. So anyway, Pat Logan gets on. Outstanding. I just looked at him and thought, you can't believe you've just done that. He was brilliant. He had one of the best scores I'd seen.
Really?
Yeah,
was he a sprinter?
He was a sprinter, yeah, I thought a sprinter. But the score was phenomenal. I was like, wow, I was like, can't believe you, Pat Logan. 10 years older than, you know, making me look like I'm really weak. So anyway, they had the next test. It was a lung function test. So you breathe into a tube, just blow in it, checks your lung capacity. So I blew into this tube. She looked at me again. She went, not very good. And I thought, I don't believe this. So anyway, I did it again. And she said, you're still not good at this. You've got an age of 55. And I was 41. 55, lung function. I was like, I can't believe this. Pat Logan stepped up. Oh, you've got a lung function of a 35-year-old. He was in his 50s. I thought, I don't believe this. And I couldn't believe it. So anyway, we went for this last test, and it was a plyometric jump test. He had a platform, you stood on it, jump. Way, Darren was outstanding.
God.
It was like the best performance I'd ever seen. I think I got beat by another guy, but basically I was one of the best I'd ever seen. And Pat wasn't near me on that one. But that was the only one I excelled at. So it just goes to show you can't be good at everything.
I know recently you've just started the Masters Grand Prix, and I attended. Was that the first one in September 2019, Sheffield? Was it?
Yeah, Sheffield. Yeah.
Great day out. My first time at any sort of athletics event, and I really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
I think it's the social side and how friendly everyone was, and the friendly competition, and you know, seeing people coming from different countries to attend.
Yeah.
Can you just tell us a little bit about the Masters Grand Prix?
The Masters Grand Prix, I decided that we didn't have enough competitions at a level where it was electronic time and wind gauges. I tried to bring everyone together. So it's like a mini, one-day mini international. And it's for men and women over the age of 35. But you don't need to be a member of a club.
So anyone can turn up?
Anyone can turn up. And I've actually got a little video to promote Masters Grand Prix.
Let's see.
Obviously travelled here from Ireland today. You told me that you were from the plane really early this morning. What have you made of the event?
Super. It's very well organised. There was great competition. I was sceptic about it wasn't my age category, but it ended up they were similar. So it ended up you were chasing what you thought was similar, so it pushed you on. So it's been obviously a great event, great track, great atmosphere. Everything's laid on, so couldn't ask for any more.
It really was a great day, wasn't it?
Yeah, I loved everything.
Why did you do that?
For me, I'm always trying to raise the profile of Masters Athletics because I think it's just a brilliant thing. And for me, I think Masters Athletics should be on the television. So
and it's not always a case of you have to enter because you're there to win. It's just a way of keeping fit and healthy and active, isn't it? You're just having a go.
Yeah, and that's the beauty, and that's why I've done the Masters Grand Prix, because usually if you're going to run at any league match, you have to be a member of a club. This gives you a chance to taste it. You know, I've got a YouTube channel, I've got a Facebook page, I've got a web page for the Masters Grand Prix, so you can go and have a look, and you can enter it.
I think it's fantastic what you're doing, and I wish you luck in that as well. Do you, when it comes to race day, do you change your foods, or do you have any supplements? Do you have certain meals on the day, or do you just tend to eat what you want, what you feel like?
As I said, it's all in moderation. The thing I do say, the only products that I will take, and usually more than 10 days away from major championships, would be I take creatine monohydrate. That's the only product I take. I don't take protein powders, don't take vitamins. That's the only thing I take in preparation for a competition. And that's it. But I do keep constantly track of my weight. I mean, as I've got older, my weight does creep up. When back in the younger days, it used to be like 10.5 stone. Now I'm creeping up to 11 stone, and I like to keep a race weight. So my race weight, I don't really want to go over 70k. So it'd be like between 69 and 70 kilos. I try and keep it in there. So if I find that I'm 71, 72, I do not back on my nutrition. I try and get my race weight back. So it's very important to keep your race weight.
So that's the details again, isn't it?
Yeah, it's the details. So I do weigh myself. I'm slim anyway, so but you're trying, because, and the other thing is it's power to weight ratio.
How you managed to cope through lockdown without the events, without being able to train in the gym? What kind of training are you doing, and how are you staying focused?
Very, very, very difficult, Mark. I have to say, my motivation's been quite low. I'm finding it quite difficult, because we've had announcements to say there's no Worlds, there's no Europeans Championships going on in 2021. And that's why I have desired to train, to be the best I can at these championships. And without them, so my motivation has been knocked. So basically, I am just ticking over. I find it inspirational that I've got other athletes that I'm on WhatsApp groups with, that they're training, so it actually motivates me, they inspire me to train. So,
what does the future hold for Darren Scott?
Future hold for Darren Scott, I'm hoping when we're out of all lockdown again, I can go and compete at World and European level, and hopefully attack some more records, have that drive and world records, and see where it takes me, and try my best to raise the profile of Masters Athletics.
Are you going to stick at the 1 and 200? Is the decathlon finished?
Oh, never say never to the decathlon. I actually, to be fair, Mark, I actually wanted to have a go of it in my 50s, because I think I'm good enough to break the UK record in a decathlon. But I'll never have the I don't think I'll have the chance now. I think I've lost that opportunity. But never say never.
Brilliant. Right, I think we're going to end it there, Darren. So I just want to say thank you very much for joining me today. Hope people at home have enjoyed watching, and they might have learned a little bit of something, and you know, you might be motivating other people to get out and have a go at the, you know, not just master, but just having a go at anything, whether it be you want to start running or you do want to get involved in athletics. I think what you do is fantastic. I think, you know, want you to carry on. Keep doing what you're doing, break a few more world records, and I wish you the best of luck in the Masters Grand Prix.
Fantastic, Matt. It's been a privilege.
Thanks for watching, everyone. Stay safe. Take care.